Hello students, we are now here with the pressure chapter, second part, in which we will study about atmospheric pressure. Now here I think some part of your syllabus has been cut. You can refer that from the syllabus book, the new syllabus. So what is atmospheric pressure? Atmospheric pressure is, you know that Earth is surrounded by air up to a height of about 300 kilometers from its surface. The envelope of air around the Earth is called atmosphere. Now air has weight, so the weight of the air column exerts thrust on the surface of the Earth. The thrust exerted on unit area on the Earth's surface is called the atmospheric pressure. So thrust exerted per unit area on the Earth's surface due to column of air is called the atmospheric pressure on the surface of Earth. The weight of air column on 1 centimeter square area on the Earth's surface is nearly 1 kgf. So the atmospheric pressure on Earth's surface is about 1 kgf per centimeter square, or that is equal to 10 Newton by 10 to the power minus 4 meter square, that is 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square, which is Pascal, so 10 to the power 5 Pascal. It implies that the thrust of about 1 lakh Newton act on every 1 meter square area on the objects of the Earth. The average surface area of human body is about 2 meters square. Therefore, the atmosphere exerts a total thrust of about 2 into 10 to the power 5 Newton on our body. But we are not able to, we are not aware of this enormous thrust on us because of the blood pressure which acts within our body and which is slightly more than the atmospheric pressure. So we are not able to understand the enormous thrust that we are facing due to atmospheric pressure. Now some demonstrations of atmospheric pressure, that is a collapsing tin can experiment. In this, if you take a tin can and you open its mouth and the lid of the mouth, and then you place some water, little bit of water, and place it on the burner, and then you heat it, then the steam will be produced, and this steam will drive away the empty space, air. The empty space means air was filled in. So when the steam will rise, it will drive off the air out of the can, and then you close the mouth of the can and place it below the tap water. Then you will find the tin can crashes. What is the reason? This is the evidence of atmospheric pressure, because when you are heating it, water boils, vapors are formed, the steam rises upward and goes out of the mouth of the bottle, mouth of the can, and with it drives off the air also. So when you are closing the can, what is there? Water is there and steam is there. Now when you are cooling it, the steam condenses and water is formed. So inside, when the steam condenses, no air vacuum is created. The atmospheric pressure acts from outside and crushes the can, because there is no pressure from inside to balance the atmospheric pressure. There are some common consequences of the atmospheric pressure, like sucking a drink with a straw. When a drink is sucked with a straw, first the air, you take cold drinks and all with the straw. So when you suck the drink, what you are doing? You are driving off the air. The air in the straw goes into our lungs, due to which the air pressure inside the straw decreases. The atmospheric pressure here, the atmospheric pressure acts on the surface of the drink being more than the pressure inside the straw, and fluid always flow from high pressure to low pressure. So the drink move up into the straw, which then reaches to our mouth. Same thing for the filling of a syringe with the liquid. So the syringe is kept with its opening just inside the liquid, and the plunger is lowered till its base. So entire when you this is the plunger. So when you press it, it goes till the base. Then what happens? The entire air is driven off, and then when you are pulling it with the mouth of the injection or the needle inside the liquid, then inside the syringe there is vacuum, and here the atmospheric pressure is acting on the liquid. So atmospheric pressure being more than the pressure inside the syringe, the liquid rises up in the syringe. Similarly, filling of ink into a fountain pen. As a syringe is filled with liquid due to atmospheric pressure, ink also gets filled into the fountain pen. The pen is kept with its nib inside the ink. When the rubber tube of fountain pen is pressed, almost all the air of rubber tube expels out in form of bubbles to the ink. Then the rubber tube is released. The pressure inside the rubber tube is much less than the atmospheric pressure acting on the ink. As a result, the ink rises into the tube through the capillary below the nib of the pen. Capillary means small, thin, very thin tube. That is called capillary, as fine as hair. Now, action of rubber suckers. Rubber suckers are often used as hooks in the kitchens and bathroom. I don't know whether you have seen it or not. For this, rubber sucker is placed hard against the wall so that the air between the sucker and the wall is forced out, creating a vacuum in between. The atmospheric pressure acting on it from outside then holds the sucker along with the hook and it firmly against the wall. For firm grip, the wall must be smooth. The lizards walk on the wall on this principle only. Action of siphon system. Water is supplied from a higher level to a lower level using a siphon system. So the figure here shows below you can see that it shows that the siphon system in which there are two vessels P and Q. The vessel P is at higher level than vessel Q. Water contained in vessel P is passed to the vessel Q by means of a glass tube AB with one end A kept immersed inside the water in vessel B, while the other end B is kept open in vessel Q. So to transfer water from vessel P to vessel Q, first air is sucked out from the lower end B of the tube. As a result, the pressure inside the tube decreases. It becomes less than the atmospheric pressure acting on the water surface in vessel P. Due to excess pressure at A, water rises in the tube through the end A, so to reach up to the level C, and then water flows down through the tube from the higher level C to lower level B in the vessel Q due to difference in pressure of water level at C and B. No, measurement of atmospheric pressure is not there. 14 barometer, simple barometer is not there. Now, the thing is what we have at present, that is variation of atmospheric pressure with altitude. The variation of atmospheric pressure with altitude, the atmospheric pressure decreases with altitude due to two factors. One is the decrease in height of air column. So if the height decreases, then you last video I had told you that the pressure is equal to HdG. So if the height of air column decreases, then there causes a linear decrease in the atmospheric pressure. And Then as you go up, the density of air decreases, so that also causes decrease in pressure. HdG, H is the height of air column. So if that decreases, you go up from the earth's surface, height of air column decreases. So due to that, pressure decreases, and also density of air decreases. Due to that also the pressure decreases. Now due to height, the decrease in pressure is linear, whereas due to density, decrease in density, the decrease in atmospheric pressure is non-linear. So the atmospheric pressure to be considered to be consist of a number of parallel air layers. Each layer experiences a pressure on it due to the thrust of air column above it. Therefore, as we go up, the height of air column above us decreases. So the thrust exerted by the air column also decreases, which results in the decrease of atmospheric pressure with increase in altitude. Since the lower air layers get compressed due to weight of the upper layers, therefore the density of air layers is more near the Earth's surface, and it decreases as we go higher and higher. The decrease in density with altitude is not linear. It is rapid at low altitude and slow at higher altitude. Due to decrease in density of air with altitude, the atmospheric pressure also decreases with altitude in a non-linear way. So due to above these two facts, if you plot a graph between atmospheric pressure and height above the sea level, then there is a non-linear decrease of pressure as the height above the sea level increases. You can see from the graph, this is atmospheric pressure and this is height above the sea level. As we are increasing the height above the sea level, the atmospheric pressure is decreasing, and it is curved. Curved means non-linear way. Linear is straight. Now, the two factors are responsible for it. One is the decrease in height, another is the decrease in density as we go up. At high altitude, since the atmospheric pressure is less, breathing becomes difficult, and nose bleeding may occur due to excess of pressure of blood over the atmospheric pressure. Therefore, the blood pressure patients are advised to go to hill station, or not advised to go to hill stations or higher altitudes, because higher altitude the pressure decreases and our blood pressure becomes more than the atmospheric pressure, so the bleeding takes place. At high altitude, fountain pen leaks. The reason is that fountain pen filled with ink contains some air at a pressure equal to the atmospheric pressure on the Earth's surface. When pen is taken to an altitude, the atmospheric pressure at altitude is low, so the excess pressure inside the rubber tube forces the ink to leak out. Now the weather forecasting part, the weather forecasting by the use of a barometer. So barometer is a device which is used to measure the atmospheric pressure. So if the barometric height at a place suddenly falls, it means that the pressure at that place has suddenly decreased, which indicates the coming of a storm or cyclone. If the barometric height gradually falls, it indicates the moisture is increasing, that is, there is possibility of rain. A gradual increase in barometric height means the moisture in air is decreasing. This indicates the coming off of dry weather. A sudden rise in the barometer height means the flow of air from that place to other surrounding low pressure areas. This indicates that coming of an extremely dry weather. If there is no abrupt change in the barometric height, it indicates that atmospheric pressure is normal, that is, the weather will remain unchanged. Now this is also there in your syllabus, that is altimeter. An altimeter is an aneroid barometer. So aneroid barometer was not given in the change syllabus, so I have not discussed it, but it is used in the aircraft to measure its altitude. So you can write an altimeter is an instrument which is used in aircraft to measure its altitude. Since the atmospheric pressure decreases with the increase in height of the sea level, therefore a barometer which measures the atmospheric pressure can be used to determine the altitude of a place above the sea level. Its scale is calibrated in terms of height of ascent, with height increasing towards left because of atmospheric pressure decreases with increase in height above the sea level. So this is it, students. You study the chapter and then you have to do the exercise and question answers. Thank you.